thrillers, welcome back to the tutorial today. New subscribers, welcome. The old subscribers or the returning subscribers, you're all welcomed. So I started a beginners class, and the first tutorial we did an introduction. The second one was all about drafting this bodice. Please check the description box or click on the link on the right box just right here. On today, we're going to do this basic bodice with a side dart, to take care of the bulginess that often comes on the side of a blouse. This bodice is when you want to attach it to a skirt part, and if you do not want to attach it to a skirt part, just like I want to make this into a blouse. So I'm going to unfold this because actually I folded it in before. I'm going to unfold it. I'll also unfold the back part. Please check the previous tutorial to understand what we are doing here. So I'm going to measure from my shoulder to where I want this blouse length to be. And from my shoulder to my hip normally is 26 inches, which is here, but I want this blouse to be 23 inches and it is here. So I'll mark it out. This 1 inch remaining is for hemming allowance. So on this part, I'm going to mark my hip circumference divided by 4. And my hip circumference is 42 divided by 4 is 10.5. Please, from this center, this is zipper allowance. So from here we mark 10.5. We are working with a side allowance of 2 inches. That's why I attached this, so don't be confused. So 2 inches here. Connect this, connect the allowance to. I've also done the same thing to my back. What I will do next is to cut it out. But for this back, if you check the last video, I took care of the zipper bulge here by going inside on the waist region by 0.5. So I'm going to connect this back to this tip. Trim this out. Extend your dart. So from the hip line, you go up by 2 inches. And if you remember, the dart intake was 3.5. So you mark the same 3.5 here. 3.5. So you connect this. This is exactly what you're going to do to the back. And then when you are done with this, you can go ahead and cut your fabric. All the allowances are already here, and get it prepared for sewing. But because we are working on a side dart, let's now proceed with the side dart. Now the reason for a side dart is because in our front we have our bust. It makes our waist longer, our shoulder to waist longer, but in our back we do not have a bust in our back. So the shoulder to the waist of the back is shorter than that of the front. The side dart takes care of the difference. Shoulder to waist for the front here is 16 inches. It's just as shown in the picture, but when you measure the shoulder to waist of your back, just as seen in the picture, when I did that, I had 14.5. 16 inches minus 14.5, I have a difference of 1.5 inches. So the back is shorter by 1.5 inches. Here I have a calendar, but it's an old calendar, so I'm going to use that as my pattern paper, trying to manage here. This will be my back pattern. So completing the front, we introduce our side dart. From your bust here, this is our bust line. From our bust, we come down by that 1.5 inches. And it is here. Then from this bust point, from this dart leg, we go out by 1 inch. The reason is because we do not want it to be too pointy on the bust. So that's why we are going out. And then we connect this to this. And this is just our side dart. For our back, I can actually decide to place this one here and you trace out from shoulder to the bust line and then continue from there. But for the sake of newcomers, let's just do it at fresh. What I did here first of all was to mark out my zipper allowance, and I'm making use of 2 inches. And of course our starting line, which is usually 0.5. This is just to create straight starting point. So from here, I'm marking down my shoulder to my bust point, 9.75. And I have it here, shoulder to bust, shoulder to waist of the back, 14.5. So I mark 14.5. I'm also marking the exact same thing on this side, just for accuracy, 9.75. 14.5, and I'll rule a straight line. And for the length of this back, remember the length of the front I used was 23 inches. So I can decide to, because of the difference, 23 minus that 1.5 side dart, I can mark it here, which is 21.5. Or you can decide to grab your front and just measure from your waist to hip. And measuring this, I have 7 inches. So you see, that's just exact same thing. So it's our 1 inch hemming allowance, which is here. So I'll rule a line across also. From here, I'm working with a basic neck width of 3 inches. You can use between 3 to 4 inches. So from this point, not from your zipper allowance, from this point, 3 inches. Please, I've already done this in my previous tutorial. Then also with a shoulder to shoulder point of 15 inches. And we are making use of the half of it because this is half side of it. So 15 inches divided by 2 is 7.5. And a neck depth of 1 inch. So we connect this point to this point. On the side, we mark our armhole circumference divided by 2. And here, armhole is 16.5 divided by 2. I have 8.25 and I mark it here. In order to be accurate, I'm also going to mark down the shoulder to shoulder, which is 7.5. Okay, and it is here exactly. So we are going to draw a line across it. And this is our armhole opening. We also draw a line. Now we call this our chest line, our bust line, our waist, and our blouse line. Now because our shoulder is in slanted form, it's not straight, we are coming down from this shoulder by 1 inch and we'll connect this to this neck point. Next thing is to mark our circumferences. Okay, and our bust, the circumference is 38 inches divided by 4 is 9.5. I'm marking from measuring from here. Okay, I have it here. Then on the waist circumference divided by 4, waist is 30 inches divided by 4 is 7.5, which is here. Then we are going to take our dart. So normally the dart is 1 inch, so I'm going to replace it immediately. 1 inch. Then on the hip line, that is the blouse length, hip divided by 4 is 10.5 inches. I mark it here. Then I should connect this point, and this point. But before that, let me now take in our dart. Nipple to nipple divided by 2 is 3.5. And the 3.5 is here. You mark it on your waist. So from this 3.5, you go in ½ inch on each side. This is the basic. ½ inch on this side, ½ inch on this side. So I'm also going to mark that 3.5 here, 3.5, and on the waistline, please pardon my marker. Then I'm going to connect this to this, just the way I did on the first one. But from our previous video, I told us that the back that starts from your chest. So you're going to mark the 3.5 on your chest, and on the length side, I came up by 2 inches, just like I did already. I came up by 2 inches and also make sure it is on 3.5. So I'm going to connect. So this is it, and you can see the total of it is 1 inch, and that's why I already went ahead to add 1 inch here. So now I can connect this to this to this. And on this point, I'm just going to mark it straight. Whatever you have on your bust, that's what you also mark in your chest. Then for the armhole curve, the back is just straight like this. Then you connect this to this point. Unlike the front, whereby you divide this point to this point into 2, go in from there by 1 inch because of the front side is kind of inwards, just like here. Next is to take care of the zipper bulge. How do we do that? On your waist, you go in by ½ inch. From this point, you go in by ½ inch. Connect it to the tip here. Then connect this one down to this point. So from also our zipper, we also go in by ½ inch and also connect it likewise down. Then the essence of this is because our back waist side is not sharp. That point is not straight, sorry, it's curved. So this ½ inch kind of takes care of that curve to avoid it being straight and it will now be bulging out. So connect this to this, connect this to this, and then we are going to trim this out. This now becomes our new zipper, just like this. It becomes our new zipper. So, but because we've taken out ½ inch here, normally I do not remove it in mine, but for the sake of beginners, you have to replace that ½ inch on the side. If not, it will be short by ½ inch. And when you calculate it for the first side, it will be short by 2 inches. So you replace it on the side and then you withdraw your mark. So this is no more your waist. Your waist starts from here to here and your zipper is from here to here. Finally is to add allowances where we've not added. So on the side we are making use of 2 inches allowance. From here I'm going out by 2 inches, 2 inches. From here I'm going out by 2 inches, 2 inches. So I'll connect the lines. I label with SA as inside allowance. Okay, then for the armhole we are working with is an allowance of half an inch. From here I'm going out by 0.5. Connect it. On the shoulder line also go up by half an inch. On the neckline half an inch. We already have our hem allowance here. We have our zipper allowance, and the next thing is to cut out the sides. This is the back, and here we have the front of it, and as you can see the front is longer here, but don't be scared. Yeah, it's longer here by that 1.5 inches, and you might be scared that while sewing it, how will it align? Don't be scared. Okay, so what you're going to do while sewing this is beside that, because we are going to sew this place in. Look at what I'm doing. So we are going to sew this. Look at it. You hold it here from inside. We are going to sew it in up to this point, just the way you sew your center dart. And when you do that, now let's align the side. Do you now see that the length aligns accurately? So that is it. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share to everyone who would want to learn this. Thank you very much. And see you in my next tutorial, where we are going to be making use of all these our drafting to sew a proper blouse. Take care of you. Bye.